Right, different question, same method, different equation. Now they're telling me that my answer lies between 1.5 and 1.6. So they're giving it to one decimal place, and we've got to go hunting for an answer to 2 decimal places. So first of all, we're going to go halfway between 1.5 and 1.6. Halfway between £1.50 and £1.60 will be £1.55. So try x equals 1.55. Where there's an x, replace it with a bracket. And see what comes out. Okay, open bracket 1.55 cubed plus 3 open bracket 1.55, take 8. Okay, we're looking for a value of 0, that's 0.373 and so on. It's too big. So there's no point me trying x as 1.56 or 1.57 because they're going to be too big as well. So my answer is going to be between 1.50 and 1.55. I go halfway, I'll try x is 1.53. So 1.53 cubed plus 3 lots of 1.53, take 8. Open bracket. That's bigger than 0 again. Too big. So my answer is pointless me trying 1.54. I'll try 1.52. Open bracket. Cubed plus 3 open bracket, take 8. That's bigger than 0 again. So I'm going to try 1.51. Negative. So that's too small. So that means that x is 1.51 gives me an answer that's too small. X equals 1.52 gives me an answer that's too big. So the answer lies somewhere in between. But for 2 decimal places, one of those is going to be my answer. So either x equals 1.51 or x equals 1.52. Yeah. Videoing, go on. Right, okay. Give me a ring. Yeah. Okay. Ta-da. Sorry about that. Okay, so either x is 1.51 or x equals 1.52 to 2 decimal places. We have to decide now which of those answers is going to be correct. So I got to go halfway between again to test. So now try x equals, and halfway between 1.51 and 1.52 is 1.515. Putting that in, to my formula, is too big, 0.0222 blah 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 blah. So that means that everything from 5.15 up to 1.52 is going to be too big, so the smaller one is my final answer. So x equals 1.51 to 2 dp. Okay, again it's this last little bit where you have to decide which of these is your answer is the trickiest bit, but even if you just get to that point you will score 3 out of 4 marks. So the final question then in this little group, same idea again. This time we're working to 1 decimal place. They're telling me my answers between 1 and 2. So the first one I'm going to try is halfway between 1 and 2, 1.5. So where there's an x, I'm going to replace it with bracket 1.5. Okay, so open bracket 1.5 cubed plus 2 open bracket 1.5, take 5, that's bigger than 0, so I can stop hunting through numbers bigger than that. So I'm going to try x equals 1.3 next. Open bracket 1.3 cubed plus 2 open bracket 1.3, take 5 equals negative. Too small. So everything bigger than 1.5 and I can ignore, everything smaller than 1.3 I can ignore, but those aren't consecutive, so I need now to look at x equals 1.4. So plonking that into my calculator, bracket 1.4 cubed plus 2 bracket 1.4, take 5 is positive, too big. So my answer is somewhere between 1.3 and 1.4, which means to 1 decimal place, one of those is going to be what I'm looking for. So if I write that down, so either x equals 1.3 or x equals 1.4 to 1 dp. So the last bit then for the final mark, I've just earned myself 3 marks. Final mark is to go halfway between. Now try halfway between 1.3 and 1.4. It's the same as halfway between £1.30 and £1.40, £1.35. Excuse me. So 1.35 cubed plus 2 lots of 1.35, take 5 equals 0.16 blah blah blah. Bigger than 0, it's too big. So that means everything between 1.35 and 1.4 is going to be too big. So my answer is going to round off to 1.3. So x equals 1.3 to 1 dp. So again, start your search halfway between the figures that they're giving you. 1.5. 1.5 is too big, no point looking at numbers bigger than that. So I went to 1.3, that's too small, so there's no point looking for numbers smaller than 1.3. They aren't consecutive, so there's another 1 decimal number that I need to consider, 1.4. That was too big. So my answer, that's too small, that's too big, lies somewhere between 1.3 and 1.4. My answer needs to be to 1 decimal place, so one of those is going to be my final answer. How do I decide which? I go halfway between. If the halfway between gives me an answer too big, then I can ignore my bigger one and 1.3 is my answer. If that was too small, I can ignore my smaller one, and 1.4 will be my answer. In this case, 1.35 give me a positive answer, which is bigger than 0, which is what we were looking for. So 1.3 is the final answer that we need.